Welcome. Recently, about 200 friends and supporters gathered in Newport Beach to celebrate International Sanctuary's 15th anniversary, and the hope that is constantly rising in the hearts and lives of the participant women we serve. What follows are some highlights of that event, but if you wish to watch any of the speakers or segments in their entirety, you'll find those videos on the event page as well. To get us started, here's our board chair, Susan Cram.
Hope is rising because three things that come to mind when I think about this organization and what is unique. First of all, our 15-year history has convicted us that we understand how to walk alongside women escaping human trafficking on their unique journey to freedom, and you're going to hear more about that. It has also equipped us to be one of the largest employers of survivors of trafficking in the world. And believe me, we're not... And we're not nearly big enough in order to meet the challenge, and that's what you're going to hear more about tonight. And finally, we are inspired. Our 15 years has been inspiring every single day because all you have to do is visit a sanctuary. You don't see the past of our participants. You see joy, you see determination, you see teamwork, you see a lot of food sharing, lots of food sharing, which is like one of the best parts about visiting. And you see the promises of the future. During a time when research shows that around the world, survivors of trafficking were experiencing homelessness, hunger, and increased levels of depression, International Sanctuary supported 100% of their international participants paying living wages throughout the entire duration of COVID. Thank you. And not only that, our education scores, literacy, as well as numeracy increased, and our reported scores of self-efficacy and self-esteem increased during that same time frame. I mean, just clearly a miracle. I would like to share with you a picture I took in Nepal in 2013. I was on a trip there with my husband, Brian. We were really exposed for the first time to the realities of human trafficking. And this was graffiti on a wall, and it was towards the end of our trip, and I'm like, you can't not know this stuff. And we gotta be that somebody. So we came back to Orange County, we did a lot of research about the organizations, and then we met International Sanctuary and what they're doing, and blew us away and continues to blow us away. The level of commitment to do whatever it takes to help a woman succeed is phenomenal.
Have you ever watched the way a woman rises? The way her feet first press into the ground because she knows what it means to fall and then to rise. Have you ever watched the way a woman loves? How she uses her hands first and then her heart second, as if every person who's ever fallen in her steady and consistent palms. Have you ever watched the way a woman dances? How she twirls and twirls, resembling a tornado, captivating and simultaneously terrifying. A woman is a force to be reckoned with. Not a body to be messed with. She is not weak. She is not vulnerable. She is whirlwind of beauty, all wrapped up in one, twirling and powerful, twirling and magical. A woman is a force to be reckoned with. Not a body to be messed with. A woman is a sacred type of resilience. She is music. Every time she rises, she is grace. Every time she loves, she is freedom. Every time she dances, all things curve and hip, strength and safe. Both the lighthouse and the wave, both the tornado and the calm, the necessary tide for a fresh start. See, they keep searching for answers, wondering and looking for a change, and they do not stop to think that maybe it is us dancing. Our exterior armor, both durable and tender, both necessary in a world that keeps us fighting for ourselves and learning that our greatest weapon is knowing exactly who we are. See, I refuse to be a woman who stays unaware of my voice and the weight of my steps. Ariel means lioness, as if there was a roaring strength placed inside of me before I even knew a single word, and there is a lioness in all of us, caged in between our rib cages where our breath meets our soul. She is the reminder that we all have lion-like hearts. Reminds us that though we are women who sometimes may fall, we are also women who knows what it means to fall and to rise, to fall and to rise. A reminder of no matter how many times she may fall, she will always get back up.
I think if you spoke with any member of our staff, you would immediately sense their deep concern and care for the growth of our participants. Here representing our work and that caring team is our Chief Program Officer and Director of Participant Progress, Max Ferdinand.
Our dream, if you ask me, what do you intend doing, is when a woman who comes in the door for the first time, probably for the interview, and it's probably her first interview, and we all know what our first interviews have been like. Now, can you imagine somebody who's never been trained for an interview coming for a first interview? And she's all nervous, and she needs guidance, she needs help. Our aim is one day she will be able to help someone. That's our simple aim. We want to internalize this truth that somebody who needs help, we need to grow her into somebody who can help. That's what our organization, that's what we do. We want to grow a woman into a strong, secure, capable, confident person. You know, most of the women who join us, when we want them to be secure, the first thing we want them to know is that they can invest in themselves, that there is a future for them. And that is the biggest mindset shift we are up against. She doesn't believe she has a future. And when they join us, when she joins us, when she comes in to work with us, it's just, okay, how long can I be with you all in order to just survive? And then I'll look for my next one. She doesn't believe that she is worthy enough or fortunate enough to invest in herself. She grows into this Hotel California community that, you can't leave this. You are going to be always part of this all your life. And that community, I'd like to believe, is like this trampoline we have in our office. It's secure, she's accepted, she belongs. She doesn't have to prove a thing here. But we are not going to let her be like she is. We want her to grow. And this strong trampoline helps her bounce up higher than she ever thought she could. That's what we want to do. Grow her, somebody who came in not knowing her future, not knowing if she had a future, to somebody who says, I never thought I could reach this place. I never thought this was my capacity. I never thought I was able to help. We have outreach programs where we work with other restoration homes, as Susan explained, how Stephanie began. And these outreaches are not done by any staff. It's done by the girls. By the women who are trained and who have grown to this place, they go out and train women who are in other homes and say, it can be done. Look at me. And that's our model. That's what we want to do, to get women who feel, I don't know what to do, to say, I can make a difference in somebody else's life. We dream for all our girls that they will integrate well in society, be restored, and believe that they have dignity and worth. That's what we want them to grow to believe, that they have dignity and worth. And we will do all that it takes to make it come to pass.
It is estimated that nearly 8 million people are victims of the human trafficking system in India. Shalem from the International Sanctuary in Mumbai addresses the issue.
The participants at the sanctuary come from extremely difficult backgrounds, which includes trafficking, being abused, being rejected by their own family members, by their own community. They go through a lot of pain where they lose their own identities and hope.
Those most at risk of being trapped in the human trafficking system come from lower social classes and poverty-stricken areas. But thanks to the International Sanctuary in Mumbai, there is hope for many young women to escape the horrors of modern slavery.
At the sanctuary, it gives them an opportunity to grow in capacity and in confidence through education and through mental health programs. They also have a stable income so that they could feel secure.
The International Sanctuary provides a safe environment for young women who have been rescued out of the human trafficking system. The sanctuary provides a supportive community and access to education and job training so they can financially support themselves and their family as they begin to move forward in life, now with hope and a future.
The sanctuary also accepts them as a loving community. It's a safe place for them to grow and to feel belonged.
We ask for your support to come alongside the loving, compassionate leaders at the International Sanctuary in Mumbai as we provide opportunities and a future for victims of human trafficking. At International Sanctuary, we believe every life deserves hope, dignity, and freedom.
International Sanctuary serves survivors in some of the worst human trafficking capitals of the world: Mumbai, India, Cebu City, Philippines, Kampala, Uganda, and Tijuana, Mexico. But the horrors of human trafficking happen in the US too. And we know there are survivors here at home in need of holistic support and meaningful work. With our close friends and partners at I-5 Freedom Network, we are committed to relaunching our work here in the US and to connecting women with tools that move them from their exploitation to futures filled with hope. Here is the founder of I-5 Freedom Network, Brenda Wells, and a survivor and advocate for women, Ora Truhaft.
In the journey of an individual who's been exploited, there's the beginning and there's the during and there's the after. Who were you before you were exploited? And then what had happened to you in that moment? And who are you now, 3 years after that?
I was a happy person. I grew up in Orange County. This is where everybody comes to visit from all over the world. I had family, I had friends, I had a support system. After leaving that empty apartment, I was extremely disoriented. I couldn't trust anybody. I couldn't look at anybody in the eyes. The trauma was so severe that I could not function on my own. It was intense trauma, psychological, because it was beatings, emotional, physical abuse that continued for a long period of time of almost 4 years. So I was extremely disoriented. Now I can say that I have worked on my recovery. I have worked to be a better person. I'm working with I-5, and I'm so glad that you have invited me to bring awareness to the community, to bring awareness to Orange County, and also to Newport Beach.
It takes a village, it takes a lot of work to get them back on their feet. And this is what it looks like when we come together, right? And give them the tools to honor their history.
Thank you so much.
And to value the work they can do and find a way to contribute who you are and what you bring to this, amazing opportunity. So thank you, Ora.
Thank you so much. There's magic in your bones. There's magic in your eyes. There's magic swimming all magic in you. There's magic in me. There's magic in us. If only we believe, if only we believe. I am 1/3 poet. I am 2/4 perfectionist. I am imperfect, chaotic, frazzled, and indecisive. I can be moody and negative, self-deprecating and hypocritical. I advocate for the beauty and importance of everyone else, and I sometimes deny my own. I am often thinking I won't measure up. I won't achieve any other level of success. Most days I feel like a fraud. Like people will look behind my curtain and find a mess of a woman, and they will not love me like still. I love like still, like ocean always coming back to shore, simply hoping to be loved in return. I am in love for the first time in my life, and it is terrifying and beautiful all at once. I am becoming, slowly unwinding into who I've always been meant to be. It's like meeting a distant and yet longed for piece of you that has always reminded you of home. I am home to one too many emotions, to fantasies and dreams that seem as realistic as fairy dust. I sometimes still believe in magic. Hope that it is tucked in the wings of a butterfly, or maybe in the dimples of a really chunky baby, in the colors of a sunset, or the way that he looks at me. And they may call me something like foolish, 30 years old and still believing in magic. But what if the thing we're most afraid of is not that it doesn't exist, but that it's lived inside of us all this time, and we called it foolish? Okay, well then call me foolish, because I can see it swimming in my veins, and every time I take a breath, magic tucked into my very existence and on the tip of my tongue. It is no wonder why sometimes these words are the most necessary healing I've come to know. So call us foolish, because I can see it swimming in your veins. And every time you take a breath, magic tucked into your very existence, so much so that your breath is a miracle. And you are a miracle. There's magic in your bones. There's magic in your eyes. There's magic swimming all around in your mind. There's magic in you. There's magic in me. There's magic in us. If only we believe.
I'm always amazed at what can happen with a big idea, a whole lot of work, and time. And as we gather to celebrate 15 years of International Sanctuary, I think it's fun to look back on the early days, the simple beginnings of this organization. I mean, it was the heart of Stephanie and Wendy seeing the horrors of trafficking that wanted to come and offer a different option to women coming out of that life. So we began producing jewelry with just a handful of women in a restoration home. As that work grew and our participant numbers increased, we moved that work to a 2-story garage. They had tables in the bottom where they could do the work, and a place for storage and a small office upstairs. They took over an apartment, and then 2, and then 3, where they were doing production work in one space and adding education and other services in another. And the work continued to grow just that way, one opportunity after another. In 2017, we launched our first additional sanctuary outside Mumbai in Kampala, Uganda. Soon in Tijuana, Mexico later that year. We launched in Orange County in 2019 and in the Philippines in 2020, just as the pandemic started. Big things can happen with big ideas, a lot of work and time. International Sanctuary has served almost 600 women, allowing those women to find stability, to move into a new chapter of their life, and to head towards a career and a life of their own, full of hope, full of dignity, full of worth. I don't know if we could have seen it all those years ago, what it would become today, but we sure celebrate what happens when people come together, when they keep working at something, and when we see lives changed. While jewelry has always been the most tangible evidence of our work, the outcome we've been focused on all along has been in the life of the woman, her efficacy, her future, her ability to live beyond the trauma of the trafficking and in a new chapter of possibility and hope. That hunger has caused us to launch new efforts in new locations, to work to serve as many women as possible, to be part of the solution between her traffic situation and her future. We know from research that 8 out of 10 women rescued from trafficking without a livable wage in another way will return to the trafficking environment from which they were rescued. International Sanctuary was founded to be an interruption to that horrible statistic. But as we look forward and we look at the scope of the problem, it's forcing us to ask some really different questions about how we go from here. We celebrate what has happened in 15 years, and we will continue to build into what is established. But from here forward, we begin to seed new ideas and new ways to connect women to meaningful employment. We're going to start a new effort right here in our own backyard in Orange County. We hope to see it expand regionally, and then from there, anywhere in the world that it has viability and meaning. Our heart's desire is to serve hundreds of women each year, connecting them with meaningful work and a new chapter of hope and possibility. We've captured that sense in a really simple mission statement: to help her succeed, whatever it takes. I come to this as a leader committed to do whatever it takes. Our team, our board, is riled up and ready to do whatever it takes. And with you, together, we'll help her succeed, whatever it takes.